Hello, today I welcome you to my world of watches, and in this video I thought I would follow up with another Chinese special. So today we got a PARNSRPE PARNSRPE. I have no idea how to call this watch. It's PARNSRPE, I guess. It's PARNSRPE. So today we have a very interesting watch on the channel. This one is one of the 3 watches that I bought on 11/11 AliExpress sale, and it is a Nautilus Homage from a brand with an interesting name to say the least. As I mentioned in the 11/11 AliExpress sale video, it seems to me like they just bashed the keyboard and whatever came out of it they just put on the dial. Nevertheless, the watch is very well spec'd, it has great looks, great build quality. There are of course some places they should improve on, but overall I think if you're looking for a Nautilus Homage, this one is a strong contestant. On the sale I paid about $66 for this one, and right now the dark blue version which I have is going for around $78, and the light blue as well as the black dial models are going for around $71. So if you're interested, the link is down in the description as always. Okay, let's see this one. First of all, there's nothing to say about the packaging, as this watch came in a plastic bag, wrapped very securely actually, a bunch of bubble wrap, so it came safely, so that is at least nice. The dimensions are very nice on this one. It's about 40.5 millimeters in diameter, the lug to lug is 45 millimeters, thickness is 12 millimeters. You're not going to be able to change the band, but at its widest it is 24 millimeters and tapers down to 16 millimeters, and sized up for me it weighs 141 grams. Now you can see it on my 7-inch wrist, and I have to tell you that it feels very good on it. In a sense, and weirdly, it feels powerful, like it hugs your wrist so nicely and looks so elegant that it seems like there's some sort of power that comes with it. The 40 millimeters is just perfect size for this style of watch in my opinion. It's not too small and not too big. The thickness is also quite alright, so it will slide under a cuff of your shirt, though it could be a little bit thinner, but overall all of these sizes combined give a very well wearing timepiece on wrist. Now the bracelet is pretty much the main negative point on this watch. If it will be fixed, it will become one of the greatest Chinese bargains on AliExpress, no doubt. As I've said, it is joined with the case, so you won't be able to switch it out unless you get something similar in leather. The finishing is alright. You got polished center links, brushed outer links, and also brushed sides. It has a butterfly clasp which operates how it should, and it also has this safety piece that goes on when the clasp is closed. One thing that is probably evident is that with a butterfly clasp you either get a perfect fit or you don't. There are no micro adjustments to fix minor inconveniences. I got a perfect fit, but that might not be the case for you, so that is something to note. And the main thing that is bad about this bracelet is the incompleteness of it. The inside of the bracelet is very sharp, like I can feel I can cut something with it. And another thing is that it plucks hairs very easily and very often. Because of these 2 reasons, this watch is quite hard to wear. It is probably easy to overcome with a file and a little bit of time, but that is not how it's supposed to be when you buy a watch. Or you could just shave your hand. So the main disappointment on this watch, I'll have to say it has to be the bracelet. Now, speaking about the case, there's really nothing bad I can say about it. It has a very interesting design. This middle piece is secured in with screws, though I do not know if they're needed, but I guess they're trying to resemble as much as possible. So the sides are brushed, then the pieces in the middle on both sides they're polished. The crown is polished too. The bezel has 2 different finishes also. The top is finely brushed and the side is highly polished. They've done a pretty good job on the finishes and the watch looks good. The brushed and the polished finishes work together very nicely. Since we are at the case, we can talk about the water resistance too. It has a screw down crown. The listing says it is only 50 meters water resistant, though I would even doubt that. So I wouldn't recommend you to go even swimming with this watch. The screw down crown option is still very pleasant. Now the movement they opted for is again a very good choice, and the fact that it has the display case back is even better. This is the Seiko NH35A automatic Haken and hand winding movement, 41 hours of power reserve and 24 joules. If you've been to this budget watch game even for a little bit of time, you should know by now that this Seiko movement is basically an unbeatable workhorse. If regulated properly, it will give you a correct time without much error, and it will serve you for a very long time. I'm a big fan of this movement and I cannot recommend it enough. If you've got an NH35 or NH36 in your watch, you're pretty much safe. Very rarely it might have a problem, but you know, Toyota sometimes break too. One thing that is also a very good addition to this watch is that it has a sapphire crystal, so you won't get any scratches along the way when you wear this watch. I tested it with my diamond selector tool and it gave me a positive reading, so this is in fact a true sapphire glass. If you want to be safe and check your crystals as well, there is a link to the diamond selector tool in the description down below. Before we go on to the dial, I want to acknowledge the fact that there is some glue residue just above the crystal, on the bezel, and a little bit on the crystal as well. Now I will try to remove it on video with some nail polish, and if it does not go away, this will be another negative. I mean, even if it does, it's still a quality control issue, but removing it is pretty easy, so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. As you can see, it did go away, so that is at least nice, but still, it shouldn't be on the watch in the first place. I often say this, but this time the dial is really the star of the show. I did expect it to be kind of a bland, blue, generic looking Nautilus style dial, but I was very pleasantly surprised that it is very vibrant. It really dances beautifully when the light hits it. Not only is it striped, but it also seems like it has a sunburst effect on top of it, so it pretty much doesn't matter in which direction you turn it, you will get a different, very good looking blue shade. The dial in itself is one of the biggest positives on this watch. I was actually really amazed at what I got. Another thing that I was really happy with is that I didn't get any dust underneath the crystal or on the dial, which I can say that it happens quite often on these Chinese timepieces, so that is really good. The indices are applied and they are applied correctly. There is no misalignment or crookedness. There is a date window at 3 o'clock and it is centered correctly. I wanted to say the hand choice, but really the hand style. They didn't choose these ones. We all know what they're going for. So the hand style is also very great. They are not too short. The minute hand is also quite long, so that is nice. The hands don't look out of proportion. And another thing that I like is that they were very modest with the writings on the dial. Obviously the brand name on top, which, again, what is even this? But I mean, it is applied well, so I guess that's good. And then there's automatic on the bottom. So overall, I can say that they did a very good job on this dial. Pretty much everything is spot on. Now the Lume is okay, as you probably would expect. It is not up to par with, let's say, a steel dive watch, but it has some lume, so that is, I guess, nice. You will be able to see the time in the dark if needed, just not as easily as you might want. The lume fades away quite fast, but again, you cannot expect everything from a $66 watch. So now my final thoughts on this timepiece. I can say that I do really like it. There are a lot of places where they got things right. The measurements, the finishing, the overall build, movement and material choices, they're all very good for a relatively unknown watch brand. Though, as with pretty much every watch, there are things that could be improved. On this example, especially the bracelet, as it's quite hard to wear it because of the hair plucking and overall sharpness. But if they would improve on the bracelet, again, it would be a very nice homage. So would I recommend it? In this case, I will say that it is up to you to decide. As for me, as I'm a guy with a hairy wrist, the bracelet doesn't do many favors, but if you're curious and you want to try this one out, if you like the design, I'd say you might want to try it. So there you go, here's my review on this PARNSRPE watch, I guess. Again, I really enjoyed reviewing this one. It came out to be better than expected in some places and worse than expected in other places, but overall I don't think it's a bad watch and it has something going for it, especially if the company continues to improve the mentioned negatives and gives the customers what they want. They should be a success. So as always, if you're interested, the link will be in the description down below, and check out some of their other watches as they have a plethora of models to choose from, vibrant colors, nice designs, so you might want to look into that. And as always, if you like this video, please leave a like and also consider subscribing and hitting that little bell so you'll get notified when I upload a new video. And now thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.